Hello, everybody. The boys are back in town. I got Ryan and Nick. We're back at you for another season with the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series. We kick off tonight with the NASCAR RPG Daytona race. We've already came at you a few times this season. If you keep up with the lead, Nick and I picked up the F1 stuff, and now we've got our regular broadcast that we've had since last season here back at us with the Xfinity car. Nick, what are you expecting to see tonight in this race?
I don't know. We got last season's winner Tyler Fody. She's starting here, starting P5. So familiar faces up front so far. Looks like Jeff Green got the pole. Been really fast here in Speed Weeks at Daytona at 38 machine C2 freight.
Yeah,
Man, I don't know. We'll
one
see.
thing about Jeff too. He won the 500 pool just a few days ago. So that's a sweep, right? Sweep for the pools on the week.
Yeah, good point. 38 machines know how to get it done here so far this week. But we got a long race here tonight, 120 laps. So we'll see how how careful these guys are firing off starting this race, because these plate tracks, anything can happen here.
Yeah, so you and I have both been drivers, and you obviously race in the Wednesday night series. So take me through your mindset here. 120 laps. What are you thinking here the first half of the race? Are you one of the guys that wants to try to lead, or do you want to sit back and ride and see what happens?
I think if I'm starting, if I'm fortunate enough to qualify up there in the top 10, top 5, I think my goal is to stay up there as long as I can, and then if you get shuffled out, then you kind of make the decision if you want to drop to the back. But if I'm already in the back, I think I'm going to stay there, play it safe. As this race, you can't go up there. You can go up there and take the lead all you want, but it only matters that last lap, 120. So that's the way I would play it. What about you? What do you think?
Man, I think, we saw it in our series last year when we drove the Cup cars and how important track position was. But I think in this car, you can move around from the front to the back to you can flip-flop every lap. So I think in this, I would try to get at the back of that lead draft and just hang out if I was out there. But just real quick, we're getting an extra pace lap. So that's why you're seeing them take another pace lap right here. I want to shout out all the sponsors: C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, Powerhouse Recycling, NASCAR RPG. Of course, they're the race sponsor. Everybody who helps keep Elite running. Shout out Chad. I know he's racing tonight, but he runs a league every night of the week, and he's finding ways to have more going on. I think, what is this, the 4th or 5th race of the season already? We had the F1 race. We've got this one. We had the trucks. We've had the duels qualifying. I think they even did an ARCA race earlier this week. So, yeah, Nick, we're half a lap from green. Who's your pick to win this thing?
Oh, man, I don't know. Coming into these plate tracks, man, I mean, I think, you can't count out guys like Josh Adams, Jarrett Campbell, Tyler Fody, last season's winner here. If I had to pick one, man, that's tough. I think I'm gonna go with the 19 Tucker back there. Starting 27th, but he's one of those guys that keeps the car clean, and long race, he usually keeps it clean enough to be there at the end when it matters.
Well, we'll see if that pick pans out. I think I will. I think I'll bet on the 95. This is a little bit of what he's really good at. He didn't seem to handle the Cup cars too well, but we've seen Josh Adams be very good in this type of plate package. So I think I'll take Josh Adams. It's been a long off season, but the wait is over. Green flag is out, and Jeff Green is on kill. Got great help from Scott Crump. Looks like Jeff is going to get clear. Scott is also going to be clear off of turn 2. And it would appear as if Scott has decided he wants to lead the first lap of the season. Tyler Fody, though, leaning into Jeff Green here. It looks like it's going to be Jeff Green unless a big run comes from the top.
You got Scott Crump jumped out there in front of the 32 with Dustin Dewar trying to get that push, take the lead. Everything, with all the things that change on iRacing, season to season, all the updates that come out, I feel like plate racing in this Xfinity car is pretty much the same, And not a lot changes from build to build with these things. I think.
I think like the downforce levels change a little bit, and we might lose a little bit of momentum, but then they bring it right back. Like I feel like this is, the same basically as it was, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think the strategy's kind of the same at these plate tracks. You want to be, if you're not the leader, you want to be in that top line because it just seems like the top line. You push the first guy in line to the lead, he drops down, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and we see the Cup package. It changes every 3 months. We couldn't pass at all last season on these type of tracks, Nick, and now they've got big runs, and it just like ebbs and flows a lot in the Cup package to where, like you said, this package has been basically the same thing.
I like what I see in this bottom line, though. I think if I'm up here in the top 6, that bottom line's the place I want to be. You got a lot of heavy hitters down there. You got Jeff Green, 31, Jared Campbell, 50, Varsi Enerson right there. I think that bottom line, those front 3 guys are pretty stacked.
Yeah, if you tuned into the truck race last night, you got to hear Jared Campbell and his wife announcing the truck race. Their season started last night. Haven't seen that outside lane be able to take the lead yet, Nick. You were talking about how it's typically pretty good. We have not seen anyone be able to pass Jeff Green.
It looks like 51, Harrison Talon is about to go a lap down here real quick. I'm not sure if he started from the pits. Hey, he's actually already 2 laps down. Must have missed the grid here.
Yeah, it looks like he disconnected. Looks like he had some kind of connection issue at the very start of the race.
But you see the difference in speed. I mean, Pack's up here going 188, 190. Harrison up there by himself.
Yeah, but he's not out of this at all. He's the only car that's a lap down. He's 2 down. Even if he goes 3 down, it's 120 laps. As long as he doesn't go over 6 down, which that gets booted from the server. Yeah, a couple quick cautions, he'll be back on the lead lap and he'll be fine. A yellow right now would be perfect for Harrison. He'd get back to 1 down, and obviously if he gets caught, he's going to need a little more help. But they got plenty of laps to do it tonight.
Oh, big move!
We see a big move down the back. Wow.
Yeah, Scott tried to slice to the bottom, and Cody kind of saw it and moved with him. That was could have been a big crash right there going to turn 3.
Is that lap 115 already? Did we jump there?
Man, that could have been huge if they started wrecking right there in first and second, man. They're all 2x2 pretty much throughout the whole field. And I'm surprised, that didn't kill the inside line's momentum, having to let Scott back up in there, but high side not really able to make anything happen quite yet.
Yeah, I think a little bit what happened there's everybody kind of saw it happen and checked up, not just the inside lane. I think we're pretty lucky, that they didn't wreck there, but that checking up, somebody in 15th or 20th didn't see it and run into somebody and have some kind of chain reaction crash.
I don't know, Chris, if you were down there, would you be up there in the top 20, all 2x2 right now?
No,
place
sir,
you want to be?
not. I would not be up there at all.
Team riding on board with 51. Harrison Talon here. He's got a buddy. He's got Garrison Hogan with him. Garrison still on the lead lap, but these guys about to go a lap down. Harrison about to go his 3rd lap down.
Oh, big move again. Jeff Green pulls out. Scott pulls out with him.
And this pack coming up see them coming up real quick. They're going about 10 miles an hour faster than just these two cars, so closing rate extremely fast here.
Yeah, I just don't know how long these guys can keep doing this at the front and get away with it. There it is again. Fody's going to pull up in front of Jeff Green. Oh, some confusion on what the lap cars want to do here. Looks like they're going to try to stay on the bottom. Be very interesting here.
And if I'm the leaders, this is not what I want to see. I want to see them go to the top of the racetrack, get out of the way. Now the whole inside line has to weave around them. You're just hoping the outside's going to give you that room.
Yeah, but as long as they hold a line, I don't mind it. Like, just hold your line. Don't do anything crazy. They're obviously fast enough. They're going to latch on right here. This is going to shuffle these front runners up. Jeff Green might be, he in the 32 up there might be, I think that's Dustin Dewar falling back, losing some spots after that deal.
You see him still 3 wide here. I think they're able to sort it out, get back 2 by 2. But yeah, like you said, now you got the 2 lap cars in the mix up there on the bottom line. 4th and 5th down there.
It's very interesting to see everything going on right now. And we see some guys at the back have done what I would do in this situation. Tyler Fody gets to the lead with a push from the 56. I believe that is Josh Adams. Little team change there for Josh Adams. He just flipped the 9 and the 5, right?
Yeah, it's his first time working with the, I believe he's on Pro Edge now, so his first time working with those guys as teammates, so we'll see how that works out.
Oh, Scott Brown with the leader. A little bit of blanket. That's what anybody wants to see. Oh, Jeff Green gets turned in front of the whole field. This is going to be big. Gerald Campbell. Jeff Green is involved. The 71, the 1. I think Chad Frankenfield got a bunch of cars have gotten pretty well hurt in this wreck.
Yeah, that's a lot of torn up race cars sitting down there in turn 3 and 4.
The 3 cars absolutely destroyed.
Man, looks like it all started with the 38 of Jeff Green and Dustin Dewar.
I think Jeff just got loose.
Take a look back here at the replay, see what caused this. But yeah, massive. And like you said, I mean, you said a couple laps ago, you're not sure how much longer they could do it. Turns out it's only about 5 more laps.
Yeah, I think Jeff just got loose, and I mean, that was very weird. I have not heard anybody say anything about these cars, handling bad. But there was definitely no contact there before Jeff got loose.
Oh man, I think we need to ride on board with a 19 of Tooker here. He was checking up forever. I don't know how everybody checked up behind him and didn't hit him. But man, he was just on the brakes trying to get it slowed down.
But Jeff Green was involved, Dustin Dewar, the 94, I believe it is, Gerald Campbell, Rucker was involved.
We go on board with Tooker here, see what he sees.
Vincent Isabella was involved.
On the brakes, trying to get it slowed down. Jeff Green right there in front of him. Man, I don't know how nobody... Props to those guys in the back for not, running into Tooker and these guys up here trying to slow down because they pretty much went from 180 miles an hour down to 30 trying to miss that thing.
Kendall Noah player is pretty destroyed in this wreck. The 9 got pretty heavy contact. We've talked about Rucker getting involved.
On board with Jeff Green here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it looks like that that bump going into 3 just maybe upset the car, got a little loose, and Jeff maybe wasn't expecting it, and away it went.
Both of those lap cars that blended in were in the wreck. The 3 cars pretty destroyed. Chad Frankenfield got a pretty good amount of contact on both the left and right side, bouncing off the 44 and the 71. The 1 car got some pretty good contact.
Great job by David Westergreen too in the 99 car, seeing what was going on the outside of him and able to get down just enough. Jeff Green was coming down the track real quick. Right on board with Dustin Dewar. Oh, maybe he didn't get into the 38 of Jeff. I thought he did, but yeah, like you said, Jeff just got loose. He's got loose on his own.
Yeah, that was very weird. Ethan Burrell has picked up some damage too. He in the checkups, he ran into the back of the 6 and then hit the wall, so we'll have to see if that hurt that car later.
Oh, the 12 car of where'd he go? I lost him now. 12 car Vincent Isabella. Talking about that car being cursed, the number 12 being cursed, but he had some luck going through that wreck. Yeah, look at the replay right here. You see the 99 of Westergreen. Sees Jeff Green getting loose. Gets just enough below the apron to avoid getting clipped.
Didn't take long to see our first multi-car wreck of the season. But, I mean, we were talking about it before it happened. They were just being super aggressive. They got away with a few close calls, and it just ultimately what caused it was somebody just getting loose.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that, like you said. I mean, usually these cars are really stable, and to see it just get free on entry like that without really getting pushed, kind of surprising.
Here we go. Fody. Is Fody the control car? I believe so, yes. Green flag is out. Fody is away. With help from Josh Adams. Everyone did pit under that caution. We were showing you replays of the wreck. But everybody did come down. Mostly fuel only unless you were involved in the accident. Here we go. Josh Adams to the lead. He's going to turn down and get in front of Tyler Fody. Fody is going to pull back out and try to take it back. I think no lead change that lap. It only counts at the line. All that passing that Josh Adams did on the backstretch did not matter when they got to the front. Fody's going to get down to the bottom in front of Josh Adams. Might we see Josh pull out again on the backstretch?
I have to say, it's very odd seeing Josh in the 56 car. Usually we see, I know Tate was in the 2 last season as well here, but Tate that's usually Tate's numbers. So to see Josh swap numbers and drive the 56, it's like, I don't know, it's like seeing like William Byron hop in the 24. Not saying their talent levels are equal here. Not saying Tate is Jeff Gordon and Josh is William Byron. Takes some getting used to.
Well, I think it's a little different than when Williams jumped in the 24 just for the mere fact that, one guy retired. Tate's still competing. Tate didn't retire.
Like you did.
That's right. I did take a little break. I will not be in any leagues this season. I'm going to have a lot of fun being in the broadcast booth, though. You piss a lot less people off when you're up here than you do on the racetrack. It's pretty even out front right now. They're both pushing on each other. Josh has not been able to get back clear to pull up in front of RC. It really doesn't look like that wreck has scared these guys from pushing.
No, I would say not.
Oh, we got contact back at the back of the pack. Not sure who it was. A couple cars made some contact. One car hit the wall. I don't think anybody wrecked.
It's like Richard Hines.
Scott Crump is blinking very, very severely at this point. What are you thinking if you're in front of or behind Scott Crump, pushing on him or getting pushed by him when he's blinking like
I think I'd be less worried if I'm behind him, but if I'm in front of him getting pushed, it's a little more nerve-wracking. Two places you don't want to be around somebody blinking is in front of them or till they're outside. But one thing this wreck has done is, we got a lot of new faces up here. I mean, we got Hunter Smith started 24th up to P7. Matthew Weeks started 29th up to P8, 4th on the inside there. So a lot of these guys started from the back, working their way forward.
Josh Adams finally has gotten clear of RC Enerson. Let's see if he pulls up and tries to take the lead. He does. He will lead this lap. For those of you that missed it, Josh Adams did do a team swap. He is no longer in the 95. He is in the 56. He is on Pro Edge. He's went over there, taking his talents to a new team. I think RC had thoughts about getting down and trying to pass Josh, but Josh was moving down at the same time. How did Josh explain that to us, Nick? I think he said he flipped the 9 over and made it a 6 and put the 5 in front of it. I believe that's how he broke it down.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So if you look at it, the number looks like the number looked last year, just a little bit different order. He and Fody side by side for the lead.
And I just went down and talked to Jeff Green's crew chief here. He said that car was not handling right. They had it set up for qualifying. A little less drag on that thing. Not meant to handle in the pack. So that might have been one of the reasons he got loose over there by himself.
Yeah, it definitely did not look like it was handling very good on Intriga 3.
Man, Fody and Josh has just been swapping the lead, and these are two guys who I expected to kind of be up front. We saw Fody, like I said, win here last season. Josh always good on these plate tracks.
Yeah, but there's still 100 laps left in this race, and it's hard to run this hard and get pushed and push this hard as long as what they're trying to do it. I like to take some time during these races when they're this long and just ride and hang out and just, make laps, and it just, when you're at the front of the pack, that's not what you're doing. I mean, you know as well as I do, Nick, all it takes is a misjudgment of an inch, and 10 cars are piled up somewhere.
Or an untimely blink.
That too. As big as that wreck was, not a lot of guys had race-ending damage. There's still, there's still a lot of cars out here. A couple lap cars, one being Jeff Green there. I don't think that car's got any sort of pace like it had earlier. So his chances to win this thing might be over. But nothing's changed at the front. Like you mentioned, we got some new players, some different names, but they're still racing pretty hard.
Yeah, I think our top 6 pretty much stayed the same all race for the most part. I mean, saw Tyler Fody up front earlier, Scott Crone, Westergreen having a great run, RC, and Josh Robin in the 8 car on the outside.
I do think that the pushes are not quite what they were earlier. It looks like everybody's kind of leaving a gap. I almost wonder if these cars are a little bit free, maybe as the fuel burns off. I mean, we saw it happen with Jeff, and nobody's really pushing hard right now. Everybody's running in a pack, but everybody's kind of leaving a gap.
Do we know how long a fuel run is here, Chris?
Well, we know they pitted on the last yellow, and it looks like, based on the number I'm seeing, they can still run about 20, 28, 29 more laps. So what's that? That makes the fuel run, what, about 40 laps?
Yeah, about there. About 40.
So it's still what, 2 stops from here. I'll have to stop twice. So do you think anybody's thinking about pitting in about 20 laps? As soon as the window opens to make it on one more stop?
Maybe these guys at the back, but I think these guys at the front, they're probably planning on just running this thing out, running it dry.
We got a little bit sideways there back there. I think these cars are starting to handle. I believe it was Thomas Sherman in the 1 get really sideways coming through the trial.
Oh man, thought we were about to watch an onboard crash right there. He started coming up and he wasn't quite clear. Vincent Isabella in the 12 had to lift a little bit, let him in.
And while that happened, Fody did get clear to the bottom to get in front of Josh Adams. Yeah, I do believe a driver just told another driver that if it happens again, that they're going to carpool down the backstretch. Not sure if you guys could hear that, but that's basically saying I cut you a break that time. Next time, I'll let you.
I do believe. I do believe that was directed at the one of Thomas Sherman. So we saw that backstretch move live, saw it in car. And that 12 car not too happy with that about it.
I like this choice of words, cartwheeling down the backstretch. Like, he knows it's going to go up big, and he said, that's fine with me. I mean, we still got 90 laps to go, but we're ready to cartwheel down the backstretch. But yeah, I know in the Cup car, guys have said 3 or 4 cars in a line are faster than the pack. So I just wasn't sure if that might translate to this. You know, I don't know a whole lot about, you know, if these guys are going slower packed up than they are in a line. Don't know how many of them you would need, you know, but it would just be a strategy that somebody could play to pit, you know, maybe with 80 to go. Just get fuel because it would be a shorter stop, and then come back at 40 to go and get 4 tires and fuel for the end. I mean, David Westergren just got really loose stuff before. These cars have got to be getting free.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of time left in this run. They're about, what, halfway through this fuel run, Chris?
Right around. Looks like there's still about 25 laps left to go. So we've seen R.C. Enerson take the lead. He had help from Josh Adams.
Yeah, if I'm out here right now, I think the guys in the prime position where I would want to be would be, you know, 37 Ethan Burrell, 19 at Tooker, 70 at Jesse Rasmus. You know, right at the tail end of the pack. So if they start wrecking, you got room to check up, bail out, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, and Tate Lytle's a guy that always rides in the back. That's where he's at still. Yeah, we still got, what, 35 cars? 32 cars. 32 cars is still a technical part of this lead draft. Oh, we got some racing going on back here. It looks like Scott thought Josh might drop to the bottom. Josh is still high. Kind of got sprung out. Chad Frankenfield trying to make the very top of 3 wide work. Not sure that's going to work.
Looks like Chad's on the back of this pack right here.
Yeah, he made a pretty big move there, thinking he could go somewhere, and he went somewhere, but it wasn't where he thought he was going to go. Now we got, I'm not sure what that car is, not sure who's driving it, but we got Speed Racer up on the top now, trying to make it work 3 wide. We're 3 wide back in there, and we are catching you that car.
Like it's the 03 of Jeffrey McConey.
Another
Speed
3
Racer
wide
scheme.
move.
I don't know if these guys are dropping intentionally or trying to make that top work. But man, these come up on lap cars so quick, man. You don't want to be on that outside.
Side by side for the lead again. Josh Adams, Tyler Fode. I almost wonder if guys are maybe trying to say, hey, let's run up here because the cars are getting looser. You know, if you're looser, the higher you run, the less wheel you have to put into it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, too, you know.
Wow, that was tight for Jeff Green. I don't know if he didn't know that they were coming or didn't see them, but man, that really stuck up there on Green.
Yeah, you know, this car is so damaged. Sometimes you're just out there for Sunday drive and you don't even realize the leaders are coming in your mirror. The closing rate's so fast. You look one lap, there's like nobody there, and then you look the next lap and they're right on top of you. But I'm kind of wondering at this point, you know, Josh Adams and Tyler Fode have swapped the lead so many times. I wonder if they're, you know, maybe working together here trying to control this race, or, you know, if they're just, you know, the top two that you got to beat here. You see Tyler Fode pull out again, trying to take the lead back.
Well, I think both those guys, I know for sure from Josh Adams, who's racing with Fode, I feel like he has the same mindset. They want to lead every lap, so I don't know if they're necessarily working together. I'm not saying they aren't, they very well could be. But I think it's just they both want to lead every lap, so when one gets cleared, the other one then pulls up, tries, you know, and it works out. As long as you can keep doing it, they'll be running first and second all race. But Josh has told us several times, Nick, you know, we've been teammates with him in the past, and like he tells us his mindset going into the races at Daytona. He says, you know, I want to lead every lap. I want to run at the front. That's what he likes to do. You and I typically, you know, we'll bail out of things if it gets hairy. You know, it's just that mindset isn't there for me to lead every lap.
Yeah, I've always felt, you know, that strategy, pretty much you either bring home the checkered flag or the steering wheel if you're up there kind of dicing it up for the lead.
We got Speed Racer back on top of 3 wide again. I think he's just willingly running up there. I think he's saying, you know, this is where I want to run, and this is where I'm going to run.
Yeah, I think, you know, get the lap 110. I think you see some people go with him, but
and like I said, a lot of it could be maybe he's just loose, like everybody is, and he's saying, look, guys, we're loose.
Oh.
Let's run up here.
Man, him and the 19 and Tucker, Speed Racer, almost had a little contact there. Turn 1 and 2 got real tight.
I believe Speed Racer was letting him know about it too. Josh Adams back to the lead. Tyler Fode never could get clear that time. You know, like every time we've seen him pull out and pass the other. But so far, Josh has held off this charge from Fode.
I think with, like you said, with the handling coming into play a little bit here, I think these stack-ups are getting bigger and bigger. See a lot more checkups out there right now.
Yeah, and the fuel window is open. If anybody wanted to pit here, they could pit here, make it a one-stop race from here to the end. It would not be a full pit stop either, as, you know, they could short fill the car. Still have quite a bit of fuel in the tank. I kind of hope that somebody pits here. I would like to see some different strategies, and, you know, a lot of times, like, this isn't like real life either, you know, where you've got a guy on the pit box who's crew chief, a guy who's not telling him, hey, look, the fuel window's open. A lot of times, you know, when it's just you as the driver, you're not sure, you know, you're not paying attention to that. You're trying to race, you're trying to improve your position, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, so it's very...
I'll tell you what, these checkups are getting so big. That 03 Speed Racer up there, he's passed about 4 rows. He was back there with a 19 that took her.
If he can do it himself, man, that would be pretty awesome.
He's up to the 4th car in the row.
And it's just, if these cars are getting looser, maybe these guys might need to consider going to the wall. They might need to consider, if you're in the second lane, hey, let's move to the wall because you can carry a little bit more speed. You know, you're not jerking on the wheels hard. At this rate, he is competing. But we are catching a lap car.
Yeah.
And he's got help now. Look, these people are seeing it. He has help.
Yeah. The lap car pulls down low to the apron. Good call. That could have got real ugly down here. Man, 8's running him up the track a little bit.
Oh, I think when you get in that middle lane, it's got to be even looser because you don't have that room to move around.
See, right here in the trial, though, they're checking up or something. He gets a big run. right there through the trial oval down in turn 1 every single lap. So maybe there's something to that far outside here on, a longer run. Up to the second row now. Doing it all himself. He's got a little bit of help now from the 8 car, but
Yeah, it's very interesting. He's been able to that middle lane, man. I'm telling you, you saw it with Westergreen there, getting free in the middle.
well, if there's one good thing about running the way outside is if they do wreck, you can hit the walls aren't you're pretty much there.
Yeah, but if you're up there and they do wreck, you're gonna hit something. You're not gonna be able to be on the bottom and dodge it. You know what I mean? Like if you're on the bottom, you have a couple different ways you could go. If you're up by the wall, you just stay up by the wall and say, we're gonna get some damage, but hopefully it doesn't kill my race. Wow, look at that. That is incredible.
Still hanging there.
And every time he gets to another car, then they start having to, look at Scott moving around the wall because he's having to keep it in one lane. And now that he's got help, I mean, it's incredible what he's been able to do on the very top. He did most of this work by himself.
Curious to see though. I mean, we're coming up on pit stops here shortly. About 10 laps, 9 laps out, I believe. So if I'm back there in a second pack hanging out somewhere, I think now's the time to start.
Oh! Contact from the 03 to Scott Crump, and that's going to bring out a caution.
Oh, that's big too.
Crump, Thomas Sherman, Ethan Burrell, Gerald Campbell.
The one of Thomas Sherman, Tate Lytle's in it. Rucker's in it. Man, a lot of the guys, coming in that second pack way back too, couldn't get it slowed down in time. See, going into turn 3 here, Scott's in the middle, 03 on the outside. Oh, looks like 03 came down into the side of the 90, sent him sideways.
Yeah, I think what happened, the speed racer got loose right there, and he came down, but he didn't come all, like there was some net code. Like he didn't come all the way down. There was a good amount of net code, and we saw Scott Crump blinking, so that probably, made it worse, the net code there. And then once he got into 90, the 50 got some hit, but none of those guys, look at the 8. Scott Crump drove through by a lot of guys because of his connection issues. I don't think RC got any damage. I don't think the 03 got any damage. I don't think the 8 got any damage. I think all because of the connection issues with Scott Crump, a lot of those guys got really lucky at the very initial start of that wreck.
Yeah, even like the 99 of Westergreen got pretty fortunate there. That could have been big for him. A lot of these guys, in the front pack didn't end up too bad. It's the second pack coming back here. I mean, a lot of these guys slowing down, but it started way, way back there.
Yeah, Tate locked up the brakes. He got hit when he locked the brakes up, but I don't think Tate is that bad. Gerald, I was gonna say got hit by Rucker, but Rucker got hit by somebody into.
I think we need to go on. I think we need to go on board with a 19 at Tooker again here. He had another another great wreck avoidance, getting on the brakes, turning it down, getting out of the way. Kind of the same thing as last time. Looks pretty similar.
That was big right there.
If you look at the 2 with Tate Lytle, he sees him wrecking up there, starts lifting, checking up, gets on the wall. Doesn't get hit though, but He was going board with Tooker here. This is what I saw. He's on the high side again. Same thing as last time, going in turn 3. He's wrecking hard on the brakes. Barely misses Scott. Through the grass. Man.
And I think Scott hit him in the right rear. I think if you look at the replay, it shows Scott hit him in the right rear. But Scott, his connection issue let a lot of guys get away with one there.
Yeah, I think in our YouTube chat here, Brandon Key's calling you out on your calculations for the pit window, Chris.
What's he saying? I said
He's saying they can't make it 45 laps. Pit window's not open yet.
Yeah, it's about 40 laps. They don't have to go 45 laps. I said it was about 40 laps. I never said 45.
I don't know. Brandon's calling you out in there.
I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt they can go about 40 laps. It is a one-stop race from here.
Looks like there's a lot of race chatter going on of whether they should have been 3 wide at that moment or not. But I don't think you can blame the 03 for trying there. I mean, the high side was working. He made a lot of ground up on working that top. He drove all the way from about 12th to 14th up to there to 3rd. But we'll see how bad some of these guys are. There we get all their damage fixed here as we come down for the restart here, lap 47. Fody and Josh Adams leading them down.
Fody, the control car, still looking at these two. Pretty good start for Fody, not so great for Josh. That might be the worst start we've seen from the outside, but Josh did not have help very close either.
Talking about the 12 car's luck earlier, he had good luck getting through that wreck. You see him down there looking like a really modified series car.
Yep.
So 12 car curse still in effect.
We only have about 6 cars up here racing. I don't know if nobody else can get there. I mean, I feel like we've got more clean cars than this.
Well, Chris, we've seen 2 big wrecks.
Oh, we got another one. We're seeing a third one start right now on the backstretch. That's off the track. Are we going to get Adam yellow? Nick saying 2 big wrecks and we're getting a third.
I was just about to say, how aggressive do you want to be here knowing there's one more pit stop left? And I think that answered the question. Oh, that started pretty far up too. It's like the 71 David Carpenter. See if we can, there we go. Get the overhead view here by himself. 8 pushes 31 to Jarrett Campbell. Oh, didn't get him quite square. Shot the 31 down in the 71.
Very lucky that one car didn't go back, like the 71 after he bounced off the 31 didn't come all the way back to the right and take out a bunch of cars on the backstretch. That could have been nasty right there for guys. A lot of those guys have already wrecked once, so that would have been their second wreck of the night.
See them both taking the off-road course down there.
And I don't think we're going to see anybody pit here. They can all make it on one more stop. I don't think we're going to see anything. But we are hearing in the race chat the last restart is under review. I'm not sure what they're taking a look at. It looks like the front row is okay, so I'm not sure. It looked good to me at the front.
Oh, I think there was a stack up.
Yeah,
Uh,
restart's clear.
there was a big stack up on the top line. Race control was looking at it, but all good. But while we have, some downtime, Chris, we shout out some of our sponsors.
Yeah, that's a great idea. This is the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series. Tonight's race 1. It's the NASCAR RPG Daytona. And we got Blue Egg Marketing, C2 Freight. Jeff Green already, his chance to win's already over. He was involved in the first big wreck of the night. So not the start of the season that he was looking for. And Powerhouse Recycling. Shout out to Chad and everything he does. Everybody at the Elite Broadcast Network. Great job. We worked with a couple different producers doing F1 and over here. We got Ryan with us tonight. First time we've been back with him this season. Lots of guys have wrecked out already, though, Nick.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Like we said from the start, both of us wouldn't want to be up there, and looks like that might have been the good call.
Yeah, but the two guys who've been racing side by side for the lead all night are still clean.
Yeah, that's true, but staying up in the top 2 all night is pretty tall order. Unless you're in the top 2, I don't think anywhere is safe.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I think there's 3 guys that I feel like have been at the front all night, and it's Josh and Tyler and RC. These 3. Those 3 have been up in the top 5 all night. Everybody else, we saw Twitter at the back. We saw the 03 come on in the long run. We've got Matthew Weeks up there.
Still got a lot of clean cars running up front here. I mean, Weeks able to make it through all that. Tucker looks all right.
Yeah, and we're still not even halfway. We have lost quite a few cars, and we are not even halfway.
Good point. Good point.
Pace car should be pulling in this time. Everyone's doubled up. The 6 lap down rule is in effect. We have Joshua Personette and Thomas Sherman are 5 down. So those 2 guys, if this thing runs green, are probably going to get 6 down. Green flag is back out. Josh Adams is going to get away. Maybe too good. He's going to be pretty far out there.
Yeah, one guy I'm curious to see, hasn't been up front as far as, 03 Speed Racer, talking about him. Jeffrey McConey. Just saw that last incident, so, we'll see how he races with these top 4 who have been pretty much in the top 4 or 5 all night long.
I think he did get blamed for that last wreck, but I think that Scott Crump's connection had a lot to do with the net code around his race car. So I don't know that I necessarily put all that on the 03. He did get loose, but he also wasn't going to hit Scott. But just like we've seen all night, Tyler Fody, Josh Adams, side by side for the lead. Double file all the way back, so there's still a lot of cars I think that are going to be okay. A lot of these cars that are getting these wrecks, they look like they can still run in the pack, which is all you need. And we've seen Chad Frankenfield be in 2 wrecks tonight, and he's what, 5th car on the top?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, with all the wrecks we've seen tonight, Chris, I still wouldn't be up there right now. Not even halfway. I think it's still too early.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be, but Tate Lytle rides around at the back, and he was in one of the wrecks. So I mean, it's Daytona, you got to put yourself in a spot and be aware and do the best you can. It takes a whole lot of luck.
I don't know. I mean, I've only won a handful of races at Daytona. We see Josh and Fody go out and win a lot of them. So maybe maybe their strategy is the right one here. Maybe mine doesn't always work out. Doesn't work out at all. Not the move. You just want to go up there and go for the lead.
I seem to remember you one time. I think it was a lead, maybe a year or two ago. You were leading one lap, and the next lap you were upside down on the tri-oval.
Yeah, I had the Josh Adams, Tyler Fody strategy, trying to run up front all race, and then comes down to 10 to go, and I end up. What was the phraseology earlier? Cartwheeling down the front stretch.
Yeah. I mean, we've already seen it once this week at the finish of the duels. There, we saw Tate Lytle. He got about 75, 80. He cleared the catch fence and the flag stand right at the finish. So if we do see somebody, take flight, it will not be the first time this week that we've seen somebody take flight in the league.
Yeah, I think we see a lot more of that. I mean, I think Chad might start some sort of astronaut training space program league coming up.
I don't know. You think he's got time for that?
I don't know. He'd probably run it. He runs in everything. He finds time.
If he needs more, he just makes time, right? He needs to add a couple more hours to each day. Josh Adams still out front here. It's got about a car length on Fody. Fody should have a good run down the back. Looks like RC and he are going to be locked up here.
See, my race pick, the 19 of Tooker, working his way into the picture first time tonight.
Yeah, I think
third on the outside.
Just barely, missed that last wreck. Got lucky. As we've talked, with Scott's connection issues, Scott went through his car instead of turning him.
No. We're not blaming Scott's connection here. That was all skill by David Tooker. No luck involved.
Oh, I am not trying to take any skill away from David Tooker.
Well, Scott playing Houdini might have helped. I don't know.
Oh, I think it helped, but I'm just saying, David's very, very good at this stuff, and he also is very good at finding himself at the front towards the end. Him and Tate are a lot alike. Like, you don't talk about them for 70, 75% of the race, and then all of a sudden you get down to the end, there they are.
I think this is the biggest pack we've had all night, other than the initial start. I mean, you see the top, 25 cars grouped up?
Yeah. The next wreck will be the biggest one, maybe.
Go big or go home, man.
Looks like the 03 is going to take the lead with a big push by Tyler Fody.
Yeah, so I think this is the first time somebody other than Josh Adams or the 40 or Fody have led in, I mean, maybe all race.
It is cool to see Speed Racer out front, though. You know, Speed Racer getting out there and being in the lead is good for everybody.
And come up on the lap car of Scott Crump.
Yeah, that thing's a modified.
Is he going to stay on the bottom or go to the top? Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. That...
I don't know what that was about right there, but that was that could have been huge.
I would not be surprised to see race control maybe do something about that. He stayed middle on purpose. I think he has a problem with the 03. I think he blames the 03 for that wreck. Man, that's uncalled for. That really is uncalled for.
Yeah, that could have been huge. I mean, you got 20 cars, 25 cars right there in that lead pack. There was a little bit of contact at any point in the top 5. I mean, that would have been the whole field in that wreck right there.
I am honestly surprised that nothing has happened because of that.
Yeah, I don't think any drivers really said anything about that either coming over race chat. I'm kind of surprised because I know if I were up there in the top 5, I would not be too happy with that right there.
Yeah, that was pretty. That's just something you don't do.
But it didn't jumble them up too much here. They're all stacked up still. Bodie trying to get the lead back. Scott did come over and apologize in driver text. Said he didn't realize they were coming.
Yeah, it says he was texting. If you have to text during a race like this, like maybe don't be running. Like that's inexcusable. It's really uncalled for.
Fody able to take the lead back in the 3, get down in front of the 03, a Speed Racer, Jeff McConey. We'll see if Fody and McConey keep swapping the lead. Maybe shuffle Josh Adams back there, third on the inside.
Josh is hoping not. Josh is hoping he can get clear of RC and pull up. Just clear. Wow, that was close.
But the 03 hops up right in front of him.
Yeah.
Both of them are going to get clear here. Maybe the 50, RC Anderson too, top 3.
Well, what happened there is the 40 lost all of his health. It wasn't just the second car. The third car pulled out too.
Yeah, and that was kind of a lose-lose situation too, because, you stay up high, Josh is probably going to duck low and take the lead. And he decided to duck low, and Josh just stayed high and took the lead. So, didn't really matter what he did right there going in the 3.
Yeah, that really shuffled Fody. Fody's sitting there thinking, man, I was leading this thing, 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, but here comes my pick, David Tooker. Looking to take the lead. With help from, who is that?
Trey Holmes. That's Trey Holmes, right?
Yeah, started 41st. Jeff McConey started 40th. I didn't even realize that, so.
He's got an 88 on the side. That's good for at least 10, 15 horsepower, right?
Oh, at least.
Looks like Tooker is going to lead here for the first time tonight. Magic Weeks is right there behind Trey. Tooker's going to drop to the bottom. Tooker and Josh are teammates now. So.
Oh, good point, yeah.
Along with Weeks. That's Pro Edge.
Pro Edge decided to come into life here about halfway through the. I mean, Josh has been up front all night, but took her weeks working the way up to the front. A
And
little
I'm
bit
not sure.
past halfway.
RC is in a Toyota. Is he a Pro Edge driver as well?
That I don't know. He might be.
Well, I know he was affiliated with Chad, but Chad drives Ford, so I'm not sure if that affiliation is still there this season or not. He might still be affiliated with Chad. Is Chad in a Toyota? Yeah, Chad's in a Toyota, so that might still be a Chad. Chad must have switched from Force to Toyota.
I don't know. We can never tell with Pro Edge, man. They have like, I feel like they have like 20 cars running every week.
Yeah, maybe that's why Chad switched to Toyota. He wants to try to be affiliated with Pro Edge. So, you were teammates with Chad. What's it like being teammates with Chad?
That's good, man. Almost went out there and got us a championship last year.
Now, who was on that team with you? It was you, and it was Chad, and it was Rucker, and it was RC, right?
Yeah, and was that it? It might have been it. I apologize if I'm forgetting somebody.
Ever any friction? I feel like with Rucker and Chad, there might have been some friction.
They talk it up in the elite chat, you know, like they're sworn enemies. But you get there out there on the racetrack, they're all buddy.
Are you saying they're just trying to get everybody like they hate each other when they really, you know, nighttime lovers?
That's exactly it. But Trey Holmes looking for the lead here. On the 19, it took her with help from Weeks.
They got a little bit close there between the travel and turn one.
The outside's all formed up. I think he's going to get it down here going into 3. Oh, he pulls high.
Ooh. Did he pull wide, or did he think he was going to have help? I mean.
Oh, I think he knew Weeks was getting hot.
Man, you just my hand Pro Edge 1, 2, 3. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that cost him big. You know, he's going for the lead. He's going to go all the way back to around 20th, probably. Usually, you see the car that's overheating pull out, try to get some air on the nose, not the car that's in front.
Here we go with Scott Crump again. This time he's going to stay on the yellow line. And we've got Pro Edge lined up on the bottom. Oh, took her doing a little blinking. I just don't know if 3 cars are going to be able to beat 2 cars. Or 2 cars are going to be able to beat 3 cars, especially when those 3 cars are teammates. They really need somebody from back there. They need RC to pull up maybe, or they need somebody to come up to the back end of the 03, and I don't see anything coming.
Yeah, I think the only Pro Edge cars that are missing up there is the 28 of Robert Hill and 37 Ethan Burrell. We're still back in 20th and 21st.
And Ethan's got some damage from one of those wrecks, too. So we're not sure if he has the car to be able to get up there. They finally are getting help. They've held on a long time, and they're finally getting some help. Got the 34 coming up there. That's Hunter Smith. We haven't talked about him tonight.
Yeah, I think we're coming into that part of the run about 20, 25 laps in where we saw handling become a big issue.
Fody got clear to the lead and dropped down in front of Weeks. Weeks is going to try to take it back. He pulls out there.
Yeah, I don't know how much that 03 can push because Weeks is going to get it here, I think.
Now, I'm going to tell you something that I think happened here with Josh Adams. We saw him trying to keep the lead. I think he almost got content with his teammates, and he said, I'll just ride here and be the third car. But now that it's packed up again, here he is. He's fourth in line on the bottom now. He kind of got away from what he was doing. I'm not sure if Josh is thinking about that right now. Like maybe, hey, I did this now and it's fine, but I cannot do this later if we get lined up.
I'm kind of surprised Fody pulled out right there because the 03 was a couple car lengths back, had to get there with the run. Tucker trying to keep Weeks just underneath Fody. Don't let Fody get down. It's like he's able to do it for this straightaway. I always felt like if you're the outside line trying to push that guy to lead, you got to work a lot harder than the guy on the inside line trying to keep that guy even. With the, if I'm the 19 at Tucker, I only have to push when I have to, just to try to keep Weeks. Don't let Fody get clear of Weeks. That's the main goal. If you're that 03 though, you're trying to get Fody to the lead as quick as you can, because you can't do it for too long or else you're going to get too hot.
Yeah, the pit window opens up here in just a few laps. I mean, we're not that far outside of the pit window. If we're not even, we might be in it. There's still 17 laps of fuel left in the tank. So I will say this, I think you can run about 45 laps, 40, maybe 48 in that neighborhood.
I don't know, I think you should go down to pit reporter Brandon Key, get some more information on those fuel numbers, Chris.
I'm looking at him right now. I'm in here and I can see some fuel numbers on a car that's been at the front, and that last restart happened with about 80 to go. They pitted with about 81 to go. And we've got 16, 17 left in the tank right now. It's looking to me like you can go 45 easy. So I think if a yellow comes out now, it'll be the last time we see him on pit road. And if it goes green, anytime they pit, like the next pit stop will be it. They can pit here and make it.
I don't know. Listening to fuel numbers, am I going to believe a retired elite racing driver, Chris Wright, or am I going to believe an active one, Brandon Key?
I can just tell you what I'm looking at. Matthew Weeks back out front. First three cars on the bottom have gotten clear. Fody's going to pull up.
Yeah, look at how far back that 03 is, though, and Fody's still choosing to pull up. But he's able to maintain with Weeks, though, even with no help behind him, until that 03 gets there.
I think he's able to get a run. I think he's just pulling up when he's got a run on the 11. And so that his own run helps pull him. And then by the time he starts to fall back, he's, the 03's there to catch him.
Man, I thought I saw the 40 and the 3 get a little squirrely going into 3 right there.
Still very packed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're all packed up still, One spot I don't want to be is in the middle of this pack stuck on the bottom. There's really nowhere to go. Trying to get clear, not quite. Tucker's able to keep Weeks just barely on the quarter panel of that 40 car. I think the 03's getting hot, looking for air up there. think that 03 is definitely getting hot. Not able to get to that back bumper of the 40 car. Trying to get air to that radiator.
Yeah, we got Fody and the 11 back side by side here.
Man, Fody is almost clear, just can't quite get it. Coney in the 3 is trying to get Fody out there, just can't quite do it. Tooker doing a good job of keeping Weeks. Keeping Weeks to Fody's inside.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, he's got to work. 19 Tooker has to work a lot less hard than that.
Yeah, it's just, I just think we're going to keep seeing this. You know, I think we're going to keep seeing the Fody machine do this. We saw him do it with Josh Adams earlier. Josh is kind of, I think Josh is being a good teammate.
And, you know, if I'm the 03 pushing as hard as I can right now, you know, I mean, how hard do you go? I mean, you got to save, you can't be blinking, pushing the temps every lap, or, you know, you got to save that motor for the end. Still 39 laps to go in this thing.
How soon do you want to pit, too? You know, like, the window's open. You know, the window's open at this point, and you could pit now and make at least one green-white checker, probably two.
I think the ideal situation to be in would be like if you got all your teammates at the back of this pack, and you know handling's starting to become come into play here, pull down pit road. I think you could, you know, if you got 4 or 5 cars, I think you can run times faster than this front pack, especially with them lifting with the handling issues.
And Matthew Weeks is going to pull back out again now. We're, you know, going to get side by side for the lead again.
Everybody's trying to use that 3 car as a pusher. I think McConey's hoping somebody pulls up behind him and pushes him to the lead for once. He's pushed like 3 different guys to the lead.
Yeah, but I just don't think the 34 is interested in getting out there and pushing hard.
I think Fody's going to pull up here off of 4. I wouldn't be surprised. There he goes. Real close between the 19 and the 3. Almost some contact up there.
Yep, they're pushing really hard. I think everybody knows they're about to pit. Everybody's kind of discussing, hey, when do we want to pit? And you know as well as I do, when you're out here driving in these races, what did we always want to do before pit stops? You want to try to get to the front before you pit, in case you have a problem, overshoot the box, back up and get away with it, still be in the lead draft. Because if you're running at the back of this line of cars, if you're running at the back of this lead draft and you pit and you overshoot your pit box, that's it, you lost the draft. But if you are Matthew Weeks, you overshoot your pit box, you back up, you lose a second or two, you're still going to be in the lead draft.
Yeah, I mean, we got 26 cars still in this lead draft. Considering all the wrecks we had, that's pretty incredible.
So I always like to try to be moving forward before a pit stop. That way, you know, I gave myself some room where I didn't have to be perfect on pit road. Now, you always try to be perfect on pit road. You always want to be. But just so you don't, you know, just so you can get away with something. Obviously, you can't get away with speeding. You're screwed that way. But as long as it's just an overshoot, or you can be a little, you know, cautious getting into the pit box to make sure you don't slide through, that type of thing.
Yeah, I've always personally liked not pitting with a big group of cars. You know, I mean, you want some cars to come with you, but I've always felt when you pit with 10, 15, 12 guys, whatever it may be, there's a lot higher chance of somebody missing the breaking point. Somebody's gonna get run over, wrecked. Lot more higher chances that something's gonna happen on that pit entry.
Oh yeah, I'd rather pit with a handful than with a dozen.
But I'm kind of curious. We saw the 3 work that way high side, 3 wide. Does he do it again here? We saw it work earlier. Does anybody try it?
Well, I don't think so. I just don't think so. Not unless you maybe tell Fody or something. But the way guys are jumping out, I just don't think he's up here at the front. He wasn't earlier when he had to come through the pack. So I think he's content to sit here, keep pushing. Because right now, you're doing a lot of things. You're trying to keep your track position. You're trying to get ready to pit. You're trying to do all this stuff. But guess what? You're going to need there. At the end, you're going to need a friend. You're going to need somebody. So right now, he's making deposits. Hey, I'm going to push this guy. Hey, this guy, I'm pushing him. He's pushed Fody. He's pushing Weeks. He's helping these guys out. He's running at the front, making a whole lot of deposits. That way, maybe 1-2 laps to go, he can take a big withdrawal and try to win the race and get some help when he does it.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Because you're going to need help, and Fody, Fody might be the guy that helps him because those Pro Edge guys are probably going to stick together. Fody doesn't have anybody up here, So maybe Fody will work with him and say, hey, look, I know we've got these Pro Edge guys, but you're my guy here at the end. RC, we don't know if RC's Pro Edge or if he's still. We're not sure where RC what he's thinking right here.
I don't think he's Pro Edge. I was trying to figure that out myself. I don't think he's on Pro Edge. I'm pretty sure he's on Chad's team. 90 Motorsports.
So he's going to need some help later, but RC's kind of been content to sit there and ride behind Josh.
It looks like we're about to get a rain shower here. Track got covered in clouds.
Are we racing the rain? Might see something crazy. Let me tell you what. If I'm a leader, they are about to catch a line of cars. They're about to catch a pack of traffic. All right? I might consider pitting before we get to that traffic. Or, like you said, if everybody decides to pit on the same lap, you get to that traffic, you can run an extra lap and still have draft. They're obviously not as fast, but you won't be, out there by yourself. But there is a big line of cars out in front of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of big names in that pack too. You got the 2 with Tate Lytle, 31 Gerald Campbell. A lot of guys a lap down like Jeff Green and Dustin Dewar.
Oh, we got a wreck. That's where that happened. I feel like that's got to be guys maybe trying to pit.
Well, looks like a little contact between the 26, Justin Fortner, and who was that he made contact with coming off of 4 there? It looks like they were 3 wide back of this pack.
Yeah, a little bit of net code.
Oh, looks like Westergreen got on the apron or going into 3 here.
Yeah, the 60 Chad Frankenfield, that wreck is going to end his night. 34, 62, 79. Chad is going to be done.
Yeah, I think this all started way back going into turn 3. Westergreen looks like he got on the apron a little bit, got a little loose, caused a big checkup, bundled all these guys together. See 34 Hunter Smith.
Man, Chad thought he was through, and then there came the 79. Major damage to Chad.
Yeah. Who's that? Oh man, almost got through. Down in the grass, barely clipped the 6 to Zach Evans. Is that the 89 Brent Jones?
Lots of pitters here. Everybody pitting.
And Zach Evans, though, another guy having a pretty strong run tonight. Gets caught up in something. Shows you how quick everything changes.
Lots of different strategies too. I think Josh Adams is on 4, while a lot of guys took 2.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know how confident I'd be in that 2-tire call. I mean, usually at Daytona it's not a problem, but you know we see guys getting a little out of shape on these longer runs, and I don't know if I want to run the same lefts for 60, 70 laps here.
Well, I think everybody did end up getting 4. I think my my math was wrong on that one. Most everybody ended up 4 tires, I believe.
Geez, I'm about to just go down there to Brandon Key and just ask about pit strategies, man. You don't even know who took 2, who took 4,
Well,
what the fuel length is. I don't even know what's going on.
I thought there was a couple machines that were coming out, but they hadn't hit their pit boxes yet. Like Gerald Campbell was at that end and everything, so I thought those guys pulling out, but they just hadn't got to their pit boxes yet.
All right, well, this should get pretty interesting, I think. I mean, I think no matter where you are, it's go time now. Coming down, going to be about 27 laps to go here, 28.
Yeah, and our leader did pick the top lane here. We got Joseph. I don't even know how to say his last name, so I'm not even going to try, but he is up here at the front. 48 machine, Tasmanian Devil. We haven't said a whole lot about him tonight.
Oh, he's a new face up here in that bright red machine, Joseph Cossey.
The 03 seemed to lose a lot of ground on that pit stop there.
Oh, yeah. He went from, what, 2nd to 12th. So he's got some work to do here, trying to claw his way back up.
Box. He slid way through his box. He might have hit the wall. Nope, just got it stopped short of hitting the wall. He did scrape it when he backed up, though.
A costly mistake at this point in the race. Now he's got some work to do to get back up there. Gonna have 28 laps to work his way back up from 12th.
We've seen him do it already, so. Pit stops are over. I don't think we're going to see anybody back on pit road. Unless you get wrecked. If you get wrecked, you'll be back on pit road. Leaders in the top. It's Weeks and Tooker on the front row. Weeks is off. I have a feeling he's going to drop to the bottom as they cross the line. And he does. Teammates working together right there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if this 56 of Josh Adams pushes the 48 past both his teammates here, you know.
Yeah, that 48's got damage. I'm not sure if he could lead a line. As I say that, he's getting a good shove.
You got some good cars in the bottom line, though. Weeks, Tooker, Fody, and RC. A lot of good names down there.
And Rucker, we haven't talked about him since he was spinning out in the West.
No, 3's already looking to the top 3 wide here. Just talked about him, trying to make up those spots after sliding through his box. Don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah, that's not the call right now on fresh tires, I don't think.
Yeah, this could be pretty costly if this doesn't work. He might go back farther than 12 where he started.
Yeah, I think on fresh tires, you got to be in one of those bottom 2 lanes with help. What helped him early was did they just hit the wall?
Yeah, 03 and the 99 of David Westergreen both hit the fence down there in turn 1.
Yeah, what helped him earlier was the fact that they were on old tires, people were really loose, and he could carry a little more throttle up there. Yeah, I think the 48 damage. Josh has not even been able to get him close.
Yeah, I think Fody. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think Fody, if he gets clear, he's gonna pull out, and he does. See how good of a pusher this 48 is. He's been up here pretty much all night.
Gonna get Fody side by side.
Yeah, we saw the 03 pushing Fody for a long time. Wasn't able to quite get him clear in 11 weeks. We'll see if the 48, the 56, Josh Adams able to get it done on the high side here.
Catching a lap car already. What, 2 laps after a restart?
Oh man. Maybe a little bit of contact between the 48 and the 19.
That would have been big and bad. But this 48 hasn't been up here with these guys, you know, so they're, I would think, a little bit hesitant to work with him. I think Fody was thinking it was going to be like earlier, and this 48 just does not have the car. Like, he's got a lot of damage, and I think these guys are going to have to find a way to try to shuffle him behind them. If not...
Oh. Sorry, that 48 got real loose going into 3. I don't know if Josh was maybe giving him a push or if he just got loose on his own. Oh, we got yellow.
I don't know where it's at.
Oh, that's 12 machine, Vincent Isabella. I think he had a hood earlier. Now he doesn't have a hood at all, so we'll see what happened.
No, the caution... Oh, it was. There it got churned by the 32.
And Dustin Dewar. A little bit of a checkup.
Race cars, man. Wrecking again.
Oh, looked like maybe a little bit of net code there. There was some daylight between the 32 and the 12. I think just making that 12 car a little shorter and shorter each wreck here.
Yeah, it's not what you want. That's for sure.
Yeah, we saw Damien try to break the curse on the 12 car, couldn't get it done. Saw David Westergreen try to break that curse, and now Vincent's trying to get it broken, and so far, no luck.
A lot of talk in the chat. A lot of these guys are going to be running back-to-back races tonight. You got 120 laps here, and then you go right into an URSCA race. Great friends, you know, 2 leagues work well together, you know. A lot of guys running both of them, and you're a broadcaster for this one. You'll be racing in the next one, but what's it like when you run this 120 laps and you sit right down and go right into another one that's ready to start? Does it wear you out? You ready for it?
Yeah, I think it's it's kind of tough, especially if it's the same track. I mean, it helps out a little bit. We used to run the same car in URSCA right after that. We would run in Elite, but now they're different cars, so it kind of doesn't really translate over anymore. But yeah, it's definitely a long night when you got to run 2 back to back. But I'm sure some of these guys, wrecked out early, looking like, maybe like Jeff Green or one of these other guys. Maybe got wrecked out early. They're looking forward to having a second chance in URSCA.
Yeah, but how about these guys that have, it's such a mental game here, right? At the front, making moves, thinking about what moves you're going to make. Like, man, it's just, I feel like you're just on it. Somebody like a Josh Adams or Weeks and Tooker and Fody, these guys that have ran at the front, they've been just on kill. this race, and then they're going to go right into another race that's at Daytona, albeit a different car. But is it going to be easy for these guys to carry that same mentality over, and or are they going to go over there and just ride around and like give themselves a break?
Yeah, good point. I think it definitely wears on you. Just like you said, like constantly making decisions like, should I move up? Should I go block this guy? Should I stay in this line? And then you do it for 120 laps, then you got to go do it again for another 120 laps.
It will be interesting. Looks like Weeks has picked the top again. Probably, we're going to see the same thing, right? He's going to drop down. When do you start saying, okay, we're done doing that, Nick? At what point do you say, let's race for it? I'm not letting you drop down.
Man, I don't know. Like, having a teammate up there is such a huge deal. I think, if you can make that drop down, you got a way better chance of winning the race. At least one of you do, than if you don't let the guy drop down.
Is it 10 to go, 5 to go, green, white checker? Like, on a green, white checker, would you let your teammate, would you work with your teammate to pull this?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough question, man. I think you want to the best of your ability, I mean, you come down to a green, white checkered, does Weeks take the outside? Does he leave Tucker on the outside?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to tell him beforehand. You're not going to say, I'm working with you and then screw him. You got to pick your teammates next week, too, You're obviously going to make sure he knows, hey, we're racing. But if you're Fody, if I'm Fody, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, listen, I know what the plan is. I'm going to push the shit out of Tucker, right? You're going to try not to let that happen. Try to break him up. That's what I'm thinking. If I'm Fody, I'm trying to push on Tucker. Here we go.
I think same thing with RC and Rucker. You know that 11's going to drop down. You try to get a good start. Weeks with a great launch.
Yeah, great launch for Matthew Weeks.
Might be too big of a gap, though. I don't know.
And Fody's going to move up. Fody says, I'm not going to move down here.
Going to go with the 50 of RC Enerson
Josh
up there.
Adams going to get up there as well. That's 3 really good cars now on the top.
Yeah, but so far, I don't think we've seen anybody clear that 11 a weeks with Tucker pushing him. Tucker's been doing a great job.
Yeah, but I think
all right, it's going to be close here.
The 48 was hurt. There it is. Yeah, that's how hurt the 48 car was. I'm telling you, that's how hurt he was, that they couldn't do it. And then as soon as they have 2 clean cars up there, they're able to do it.
I mean, we saw the 3 pushing Fody up there for 10 to 15 laps. Couldn't get it done either.
All right, here we go. Is Josh Adams going to be able to do the same thing to Tyler Fody? Get him clear and get him to drop.
I think if I'm Tucker Weeks here, I'm looking to get in behind my teammate Josh Adams on the outside if he gets Fody clear here. We're seeing 64 Rucker right there on the high side too, showing up. 9 car Jay Canner.
We haven't talked about Rucker since he was spinning out over there in that, that second big crash, I think is the one he was in?
A second, third, fourth big crash? I don't know.
One of them big crashes. You got the 03 again trying to work the very top. We're going to have a wreck back there.
Yeah, somebody was going in pit road about 180 miles an hour and came back up on the track.
Yeah. A late decision to not pit, right?
Nope. See the 03 working the top again.
I just don't think it's going to work. I mean, they're packed up pretty tight, but I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, if I'm him, I think you got to try it. You're not going to win from the high side back there in 15th place.
Yeah, Josh Adams, I'm not sure, he might have gotten a little hot. Him and Fody lost a lot of ground.
They got a good run right there, though. I don't know if RC got a little loose, checked up, go back. Oh, man, big check up on the bottom right there.
Yeah, we're inside 20 to go. The
We d-
NASCAR RPG Daytona, what is this, 250 miles, I believe?
Cody's clear. Josh Adams injured Rucker, got him clear. See if Rucker's able to push that 56 machine out front now.
Yeah, for a long time in the middle of the race, we saw Josh Adams stay behind his teammates and play good soldier.
At 03, slowly creeping his way up there on that high side though, Chris. By himself, no help.
Yeah, I just don't think he's gonna. I don't know. Oh, he's gonna have somebody in front of him. The 9 tries to get back to the bottom and couldn't do it.
Oh,
Real
is he
loose.
low?
They're gonna be 4 wide off of 2.
Oh man, this isn't gonna work.
Oh, and it's gonna be a wreck. Big wreck. Man.
Surprisingly, it wasn't that big. Only a handful of cars, but yeah, it looked like the 9 was just trying to decide whether you want to go up top with the 03 to McConey or stay in the middle.
Well, I
Second
think what
guessed it.
happened is he went up, and then when he tried to come back down, the 88 was there. And then he tried to come back down again, the 88 was still there. And then he got all the way up in front of the 03, got hit in the middle of the corner, got loose, and that got him 4 wide. Like, I think, man, the 03 probably should have checked up there. The 03 probably should have checked up and avoided that wreck. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's easy to armchair quarterback, but you can see the 9. You know that you're getting 4 wide.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in for the 9 too, because you don't know if the 88 is gonna let you in. You don't know if the 3 is gonna let you in. You're trying to pick a lane.
Yeah, and the 03 even he came down off the wall a good bit. I mean, it just the 03 has to know he's 4 wide at that point. He's got to run the fence. He tries to come down off the fence. And probably should have checked up instead. That wreck could have been avoided.
But I'm surprised that wasn't bigger than it was. Only
Ethan Burrell
3, 4,
got
5 cars.
that one. The 03, 37, the 9, the 62.
Oh yeah, 37 Ethan Burrell is pretty killed. Looking like a modified out there now.
Yeah, it's easy to armchair quarterback this or Monday morning quarterback this, but I think all that's avoided if the 03 just takes a second and lifts and says, this isn't worth wrecking for. There's still 15 laps to go. So the whole race has been ran. We're gonna have, what is this, probably 12 laps maybe when they get the green. My pick of Josh Adams is still in the race. Your pick of David Tooker is still in the race. So we're looking pretty good right now, Nick. Sorry, I almost called you Josh.
Yeah, surprised they're both with minimal damage too, with all the wrecks we've seen tonight.
Yeah, but we still got Fody and Weeks. We got, we talked about Rucker finally showing up. Trey Holmes, Josh Robin are still up there. Daniel Martinez. Tate Lytle, we saw him get involved in one of those wrecks earlier.
Yeah, he's been working his way up there too, quietly running at 12. They're being 20th to 30th all race.
Yeah, with some damage too. Like we saw him get hurt.
Yeah, almost going a lap down. It's a good rebound by him.
Well, we're going to go green with about 13 to go, I think, when we get the green. Getting one to go here.
It's like Fody's electing to take the top here. I'm kind of surprised at that.
Well, you got to think. Look, if he takes the bottom, he's going to lose RC. He doesn't have to up here as well. If he takes the top, he keeps RC up here, and he's bringing Josh up here, and he knows Josh is going to try to do what's best for Josh. Not that he won't help a teammate. Josh is, you know what I mean? Josh isn't going to be a good soldier for his teammates, whereas with Weeks and Tucker, you're not sure. You haven't seen a whole lot of them, but you've seen Josh all race do what, work for Josh. He's not working for anybody else but Josh. So I think that's part of the reason you're seeing him do that is to keep RC and Josh up here.
I don't know. I'm sure in comms, I'm sure that 56 to Josh Adams, 19 Tucker, 11 Weeks are trying to coordinate something to beat that 40 car and RC too. I'm sure they're cooking something.
We'll see what happens. Gonna get the green here, like you said, Fody taking the top, RC on the bottom. And it's the Pro Edge group of Adams, Tucker, and Weeks, with Rucker and Trey Holmes behind them. Fuel's not an issue. Everybody's good to go. There's no more pit stops for these guys at the front. Green is out. Oh. What happened to Weeks?
Oh, big wreck. We're wrecking. I don't know if Weeks missed a shift, was in the wrong gear on the start, or... It sounds like he was in third gear instead of second on that start. Caused that checkup. But man, you see how far back that stack up goes.
Yeah, and you can see him shift. You see him in the wrong gear taking off, and then he downshifts, like realizes he's in the wrong gear.
Jeff Green again, Crump again, Brent Jones.
Where'd that start?
Poor Zach Evans, man, can't catch a break either.
We got an argument going on in here too, just so you guys know. Scott Crump and McConey are they're having a heated discussion about some things that have transpired this race. That all started with I believe the 89 got hit from the 31. Ethan Burrell got another piece of that. Ethan Burrell's beat the nose off of his car tonight.
I don't know, Chris. We saw Hans Device, or didn't see Hans Device get thrown yesterday in the clash. Are we gonna see one today?
That's right. We didn't see that Hans Device.
It did happen. We didn't see it, but it did happen.
Fox did a great job covering that clash, didn't they? The camera work was tremendous.
Ryan Gabble, our producer's not missing anything. Somebody throws a Hans Device down there, Ryan's gonna catch it. I'm getting reports in our chat, Chris, that you set the world record for saying Josh in 1 minute.
I did?
Yeah. Going in the record books.
Yeah. I mean, we got to talk about who's running at the front. I think tonight we've probably talked about Josh and Fody more than anybody else, but I think if you look back, those two have probably led 75 or 80% of this race. We got to, we kind of talk about what's going on at the front. Looks like the 12's luck's changing. Getting a lucky dog here.
Yeah, they're gonna need to pull out the backup car. That thing is destroyed. Well, Chris, 10 to go. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, man, probably going to be another caution at least.
You think we'll see it go up big here in the last 10 laps?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I mean, listen to the tempers in here. That I know you can hear the driver chat as well. Like, some of these guys have just had it with some of these other guys. I don't want to throw anybody too far into the bus, but there is some heated discussions going on amongst multiple groups. But I think we're going to see a great finish to the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series, kicking off the season tonight in Daytona. Got to thank our sponsors, Mrs. Goodies, C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, Powerhouse Recycling, and this is the NASCARRPG 250 at Daytona. I think we're getting ready to see some good stuff, some crazy stuff, and maybe even somebody try to become an astronaut at some point in the next 10 minutes.
You got Fody and RC Enerson going to lead them down. Fody trying to go back-to-back, won this race beginning of last season, trying to do it again.
Fody has picked the bottom here. That's something we might have to... He's kind of picking where Josh Adams is, I think, if I had to guess.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we mentioned the possibility of them working together earlier in the race when they were swapping the lead. Wonder if that's maybe what was going on.
Well, I mean, most importantly, you want to work with people you trust, right? I mean, Fody probably trusts Josh, and the same could be said, the other way around here tonight. How things have changed, because I remember a race at the end of a season where Fody just cleaned Josh out for a championship, and now they're friends. So, got to start somewhere, right?
That's all water under the bridge, man.
Or it could be a good time to get even. Maybe Josh Irving coming for home here and says, hey, it took us a while to get here, but we're even.
Maybe. And both lines pretty well formed up here. You got some good cars in the top line. The teammates of Tooker and Weeks. Rucker's right there. RC's leading the train.
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, Josh Adams and Fody have been up front all night, though. I think that's a tough duo to pass.
And Trey Holmes is... Oh, we're wrecking again. The 31's around. I'm not sure if they're going to come back up onto the track or not.
Oh, yeah, they are. Somebody just got cleaned out down there in turn 3. Not a yellow, though. They all keep it straight. Who's that? 87, Richard. Yeah, he just got cleaned out, blindsided.
Look at the front group. There's only 3 cars on the bottom. Everybody's working against these guys. Oh, Weeks is going to bail on his teammate. Weeks bails on his teammate Tooker. He says, I gotta try to win myself. As he does that, Josh Adams pulls up in front of RC Enerson. So they were friends for about, 2.5 laps?
As Josh dropped down, I think he's got to here.
I think he's going to try to wait and try to kill as much of...
It might wait too long.
And he drops.
Where do you want to be on the white flag, Chris? What's the ideal spot you want to be in here?
Crossing the checkered flag first. That's where I'd want to be.
Do you want to be first car on the outside? Do you want to be leader? Do you want to be first car on the inside behind the leader?
Man, I think it all depends on the run and what you're looking at,
Because I mean, they've been
swapping. If you're trapped on the bottom, I want to be leading the bottom. If there's nowhere to go. But if there's room to get up, you want to be that second car. We're seeing Fody and Adams do exactly what they did earlier in the race. They're just flip-flopping. That's going to be so hard for somebody to beat if they do it right.
Yeah, I don't know where you want to be because we've seen the lead constantly swapping every other straightaway at some points in this race. So
Josh gets clear again. Is he going to pull up? Not yet. I think he needs to get up maybe now. We'll see if he pulls up.
I don't think the high side had.
Oh, there he goes, right there.
I was gonna say I don't think they had a big enough run on the outside to his liking, but he pulls up and takes it going in the corner.
Coming to 4 to go this time.
RC's gonna give him a good shove. Get him clear.
Yeah, big shove. RC's gonna get clear.
And yeah, both gonna drop down.
Yep. Now that's gonna hurt. Fody's gonna have to try to get up here in front of the top lane.
And Tooker and Weeks and this whole restart mess have gotten separated here, so they're not able to get together.
They're both gonna bail on Josh. Josh is 0 help.
The 88 Trey Holmes gonna get to him. Tooker. Man, I thought Tooker was gonna look outside. And here comes a 2 with Tate Lytle. Look at that. Gonna go way up top with the 8 of Josh Robin. Coming from nowhere. He was nowhere in sight all race, showing up here in the last 5 laps when it matters.
Looks like that inside line is going to be formed up enough. I think the 3rd lane is going to hurt that middle lane. Josh is going to get clear, and he's going to pull back to the top. Wow.
Ooh, inside's formed up good, though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't bet against Fody and Adams right now, the way they've worked this race.
Coming to 2 to go. 5 more miles to settle it.
Josh is clear. Does he drop? I think he got a drop.
Couldn't get Fody quite clear.
I think Josh has got a drop. Josh needs to get down.
No, he decides not to drop. He gets back there.
He might regret not dropping.
Yeah, because I'm sure Fody's probably getting hot. He's clear again.
Yeah, I would drop. I would get down. If I could tell Josh, I'd tell him. Wow, he got down just in the nick of time.
Oh, 48's getting a little squirrely back there in the pack. Coming to the white flag.
1 more lap to go.
Oh,
Spinning
28.
in the back, but we're going to watch the finish. Spinning in the back, we're going to watch the finish. Does RC get clear? He does not. That's good for Josh. Josh is going to have help all the way home since RC didn't get clear.
Yeah, RC's got no choice but to shove Josh now. Tooker, I don't think he has an option to pull out either.
RC's going to have a shot here.
He's not quite clear. Can't do it.
Josh with the big block, and he gets turned.
And RC is going to win.
Josh did not need to pull out there.
And RC is going to come home with a win. Tooker 2nd. Trey Holmes 3rd. Weeks 4th. Man. It looked like through turn 3 and 4, coming out of turn 4, about a mile from home, Josh was going to get it. And it all just took a turn right there coming past pit road.
What a crazy finish. So RC Enerson's going to finish 1st.
You see Fody getting a run here. Josh goes up, tries to block it. I think if he just stays down there in front of RC, he's fine.
Yeah, I don't think they had the run to beat him, but
Fody was he was there already when Josh tried to come up, throw that block.
But we got RC winning the race, Tooker, Trey Holmes, Matthew Weeks, Trevor Elam, the top 5. Adams and Fody come home 6th and 7th. Rucker, Tate Lytle, Chad Frankenfield ends up 21st. Ethan Burrell 18th. Jeff Green, he stayed in and soldiered and finished 29th. Crump in 33rd. What a crazy finish.
Yeah, that was what, Fody and Adams controlled that race pretty much through its entirety, and both of them come home wrecking across the line. Neither one of them get it.
We did have a wreck on the last lap that we kind of didn't talk about, but it looks like Robert Hill and the 48 got together, caused a wreck where the 8 car spun. But we couldn't take the time to look at that while it was, they're coming to the finish.
Yeah, that was insane. I told you I didn't know where I would want to be on the white flag. The guys running first and third didn't get it. Second place gets it.
Yeah, and we thought RC was trapped, but because Josh made that move up the track, RC was able to not be trapped. The seas parted, and there he was.
But we'll see if we can grab hold of some of our top finishers here.
We are now joined by second place finisher David Tooker. We talked about you a lot tonight. Well, take us through your night and your outlook on the season. Kicking it off pretty clean here. A lot of guys cannot say the same.
Yeah, I knew coming into tonight it was definitely going to be a big points gain. Everybody tries to, get themselves in a spot to at the end to win the race, and I felt the past few 500s or the 200s that I've done, I've always right around the back and try to push forward late, and you always find yourself getting caught in those late last 20 lap wrecks, and this time we happened to be in front of them all and stayed out of trouble. Finally got to the top 5, got behind my teammate Matthew Weeks, and we're leading on the bottom there. It seemed like what pretty much from halfway all the way up to the end of the race. And then it's everybody just trying to find a spot, trying to find your partner, trying to find just somewhere to go to try to set yourself up to win the race. And fortunately missed the last wreck coming through the tri-oval and was able to get second.
Yeah, we saw quite a few big wrecks tonight. And right after the big wrecks, you guys are right back to it, running 2-3 wide. We saw you. You were my pick to win tonight, by the way. Coming from way back in the back, I almost got it done. So
yeah,
jinx almost was like broken, but
yeah. I like I said, just had to find ourselves in the position to win at the end of the race, and with the guys running up front like Josh Adams, Matthew Weeks, Tyler Fody, guys you expect to be running up front at the end of these plate races. RC as well. Congrats to him on the win. He drove a great race, but no, we definitely came into tonight with some new strategy. I felt we just had to be in front all the time. In the top 5, top 10, just trying to get ourselves into position for the end of the race, and luckily we did that, and couldn't be more happy with second. I'd love to win, but it's better than the past few finishes I've gotten here. Last few races I haven't even finished halfway, so I'll gladly take this one.
Well, all right, Tooker. Congrats on the top 3 tonight. Come back and see us again for the end of the year. Anybody you want to thank or give any shout outs to before we let you go?
Yeah, just this whole Pro Edge team. I say it every interview, no different, but tonight we definitely wanted to work on our bump drafting skills and just working together and an overall team strategy of where we wanted to be. It was kind of split. Me and Matthew Weeks kind of took off towards the front, and Adams as well. And then everybody else was filed in the back, just trying to avoid the big wrecks. And oftentimes you find yourself trying to avoid the big one, and you end up getting caught in it. And I knew tonight we came pretty close to getting into a few of them, especially the first 2. Once we got through those, the field kind of thinned out. But yeah, I just want to thank this whole Pro Edge team for what they do. Getting us up to speed for events like this, and also want to thank JD Designs for all the work he does behind the scenes for our paint schemes. creates beautiful pieces of art, and couldn't be more happy to support him in his business. And also want to thank you guys for what you do up in the booth. I know you guys would probably much rather be out on the racetrack with us, but we appreciate what you guys do up here. I love watching love watching the replays of the races and watching them back and just seeing how things play out, and who to keep an eye on in the races. But also want to thank Elite for everything they do for us, setting this up for us to come out and show our skills on the racetrack. So thank you to them.
All right, Tucker, thanks for coming up and seeing us. Thanks for giving us something good to watch. Good luck the rest of the week. I know you got some other races to run and whatnot. So good luck and come back and see us in a couple weeks.
Alrighty, thank you, boys.
We're now joined by Trey Holmes. He wasn't a guy that we talked about a whole lot tonight, but he's a guy who ended up getting third and ran at the front a lot of the last fuel runs. So Trey, take us through your night and tell us how you survived out there, which seemed to be pretty hard to do.
Listen, I have no idea how I survived that. I dodged literally both big wrecks by literally the skin of my teeth, and ran out of fuel once, and somehow came away with third. I have no clue, but I will take it.
Yeah, you weren't somebody that we had seen a lot in the first half, but in the second half you were a guy that was there, and ultimately we're there when it counted, which is what matters. There were no stage points tonight, so P3, take us. What's the outlook look like for the season, and what are you expecting? You gonna maybe win a race or two this season?
I'm just trying to build on what I did last year in my first season. Hopefully, try to get a win. I think I can. I really do. And try to get in the playoffs. That's my main goal this year. After finishing in top 15 last year, try to make the playoffs and see what happens.
Alrighty, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank and shout outs you want to give?
I want to thank my team, Fueled Up Racing. Bought some really good cars here tonight. I want to thank JD Designs for the amazing paint schemes. He makes all our paint schemes, Pro Edge and Fueled Up. Just a spectacular job. Can't thank him enough. And I want to thank Tucker for not killing me right there. That was really, really close. Once Fody and Josh Adams got together.
Well, alrighty, Trey. It was great talking to you. Come back and see us again, and hopefully, you put that 88 car in victory lane.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Well, here we are, joined by the race winner. I don't think he's supposed to win this one. I think he's supposed to win the one where they go down in here and drive through the infield. But here you are, RC, winning the inaugural race of the season. Take us through your night, how you survived, and how you put yourself in a position to win.
I feel like I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, the plate tracks, I'm always up front. I'm always like top 4, top 5, pushing a lot, and I tend to always get crashed out with about 5 laps to go. So I really went the race with the same mindset. Like I probably gonna end the night crashed. But then honestly, I wasn't paying attention at all. I didn't know I was gonna come to the white flag until the white flag popped up when we were coming across the tri-oval, and I was in clean air, so I had a cool engine. I had Adams in front of me. I was like, guess I'm gonna be pushing to the end, and I guess it's not good to be leading. So I liked where I was, and then I think it turned out good for me.
Yeah, I think it did too. What were you thinking there on that last lap going through? Did you think you were just going to push Josh? Were you surprised when he moved up? And about what point did you realize you were going to win the race?
Well, I know Tucker was already hot from running the line, and I mean I had clean air, and I knew I wasn't going to have to lift. I could run it all the way to the end with on the bumper without blowing up. So I knew I was good to go there. So if worst case scenario, like a third place, if Fody was to edge me out, but if Adams won, then whatever, it's another Toyota. But I didn't have any teammates up there with me due to unfortunate events for them early in the race. But yeah, I was just looking at pushing and hopefully getting a second and third, start the season off with actually some points. But then he went to block and they got tangled up, and then I got a nice little bump from Trey and just made sure that they weren't coming across to crash me back out.
Well, alrighty, RC. Anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just you guys up here in the booth, Chad for running the league. Again, I always repeat this every time. I love racing on these things, so every time I'm in town and I can, I'll do the races. And then White Lightning Racing, it's their first year as a team, I guess. I think. Yeah, it's the first year as a team, so and come out with a win. I wish we could have brought one home in the truck race last night, but again, that one turned out unfortunate. My normal plate track. But yeah, just thanks, guys.
All right, RC, come back and see us again. Maybe take a run at this championship if you can get some time off in the month of May.
Yeah, we'll give it a go for sure.
All right, man. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you, guys.
Well, we saw a crazy race tonight. Those of you who are used to hearing Nick also give some questions, he had to step out. Erska's about to start right at 9:30. This thing ran long, lots of yellow, so he had to go run a race. So it's just me. Come back and see us in a couple weeks. Come back and watch later this week. We still got a Daytona 500 to run here on Wednesday night. All these guys you saw tonight and more. Going to be a great race. Going to be a great show. I promise. I'm not lying to you. The racing will be better than it was last year in the Cup cars. Those things you can actually drive them now and draft with them and pack up. So come back and watch it. We got an F1 race coming up. So just subscribe to Elite if you're not already. Subscribe to the ERN network there and check us out every chance you get. Just come in and all the racing's good. Everything's fun. And thanks for tuning in tonight. And I don't think we have a race next week. I'm not sure, but I think the next race is going to be in 2 weeks. So